Welcome, boils and ghouls, to the Cryptic Podcast. My name's Kenny, and I'm here with my good friend Godden. And together, we're here to watch and review every horrific, often hilarious episode of the legendary HBO anthology series, Tales from the Crypt. And today, we've got a special guest. Godden, oh, I'm so excited. Alan's in the house.
I'm so excited too.
What's up, Alan?
Alan?
So Alan
I'm doing great, yeah.
Good. It's so good to see you, Alan. Alan's visiting us from the Creeps of the Crypt. So if you are familiar with Tales from the Crypt and podcasts, I'm sure you've seen an episode or two of Creeps of the Crypt as well. Alan, welcome. It's so good to see you. How are you today, by the way?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me on, guys. We've been trying to plan this out for a while, so it's good that we were able to make it happen. So just glad to be on with you guys, because I always enjoyed hearing you guys talk about the show, and that's kind of where I always started. You know, all started with this show.
Yeah, and vice versa. Like I enjoy listening to your guys' point of view, your guys' take. Very similar format to us, and that's not by accident. When like I had told you before, Godden and I were talking about doing a Tales from the Crypt podcast, and to get some ideas, I just typed in Tales from the Crypt podcast and just searched around, and you guys were one of the podcasts that came up, the Creeps of the Crypt podcast. And this format that you see here, right? Two guys on a screen talking with like some, creepy background. That's pretty much exactly how you guys format your show. So I was like, this is nice. This is pretty slick. I like the way this looks. So I basically, a lot of your guys' influence is definitely able to be seen here on the Cryptic podcast. So thank you for that.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, it's it's simple, and, can't go wrong with this. Just us talking about the show, and us having on our webcams, because for a while we used to just be all audio before, and then we started like trying to get into it more, be interactive, and try to get people to see our faces and reactions. So yeah, I mean, glad again to be on. Yeah,
that's right. You guys, your first few seasons, I think, were just audio only, and you're actually making an effort to go back and re-record older episodes with your cameras on. And we here at the Cryptic Podcast actually got to be part of that, which was very exciting for us. So we were actually visitors on your show talking about All Through the House. So if you, this is going to air, by the way, when is this going to air? This is going to air for you people watching at home.
I know we had that.
I think the 8th. I think this is going to air on the 8th. So you there watching at home, last week you could have went and watched us visiting the Creeps of the Crypt podcast. This is so meta, man. It's so bizarre to think in the future and in the past all at the same time. Anyway, before we go off on too much tangents, I want to welcome Alan, and we welcome all of our guests by asking them to share their origin story. So Alan, if you can share either your introduction to horror in general, or more specifically to Tales from the Crypt, you choose. Go ahead. The floor is yours.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I was trying to think of it prior to you asking me that. But I remember because, I'm 35, so I was born in 91. So I got to live through the AOL era, and we got the cable box era. So I remember going far back as maybe 8 years old. I remember, the Blade came out around that time. So that's kind of my first introduction to horror. I was too young. I wasn't really supposed to be watching it, but, my parents had that cable box back then to throw on HBO. So I remember seeing Blade, and that was one of my early introductions into like horror in a way. And I do remember like seeing snippets too of the time when Bordello Blood, that's the spinoff movie, came out. I remember scenes from that too. So that's why like it always seemed nostalgic for me with Tales from the Crypt, because I remember that was one of my earlier introductions to that show. So that's kind of how things started back then, as far back as I can remember.
Yeah, you mentioned the cable box. Yeah. I think people of our generation who grew up in the 90s, did a lot of the growing up in the 90s, we know that cable box. It's that one. Like everybody had that same, it's like the black square cable box. It had the little blue numbering on it and whatever, like you can get pay-per-view on it or whatever. Like, yeah, I remember that cable box. Yeah, and Blade, wow, like an action horror. You got into like the action horror era.
Yeah, I got in young. Yeah, I just was channel surfing. I just remember the scene popping up with him fighting, all the vampires in the beginning of the movie at the dance club. So yeah, it just yeah, I was way too young to be watching it, but I just remember that's the farthest I can remember.
Have you seen all of them? I think there's 3 of them, right?
Yeah, I've seen all 3. I really like the first 2. I think third one kind of fell into that sequelitis type of deal. There's a lot of like random things I didn't really care for in that one, but the first 2 are really solid. So I think especially the second one was really fun with Guillermo del Toro at the time, directing that one, and gone on to do so many movies later, and an Academy Award winning director. So yeah, that's probably my favorite one.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on that one. I think I did like 2 a little more, and 3. I don't remember 3, so it must have not been that good. I don't remember 3 much at all.
Yeah, it had like Ryan Reynolds in it. It had Jessica Biel in it, and yeah, like a few shots of. Well, he was in the movie Triple H the wrestler. I remember he was in that too. It's funny how they always incorporated wrestling moves in whenever actor or wrestler is in the movie. So I remember they did the pedigree on Ryan Reynolds in Blade 3. So that might be one of the standouts, I guess, from that movie.
When you mention wrestlers in movies, my mind goes right to They Live. Have you seen They Live?
Yeah, with Roddy Piper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put on the glasses. Put on the glasses. Like a 15-minute fight scene.
Yeah, that was funny. Yeah, I remember watching that with my girlfriend. He's like, "They're still fighting," and that scene is infamous. Yeah, just how long it took, and they're just beating the crap out of each other, just trying to get Keith David to put his glasses on.
Yeah, just put on the glasses.
That was great.
All right, well, thanks for that. So we're going to get ready to go into the episode, but before we do, I did want to say, last week, according to when this episode comes out, Tales from the Crypt has been streaming on Shudder. So as of today, season 2 of Tales from the Crypt should be on Shudder right now. Now, we're recording this just a few days before the new month, so we don't know what it's like yet. So go on Shudder, watch an episode, and then come back here and let us know, what does it look? Is it nice? Did they upgrade it? Is it HD? Is it just regular standard definition? What are you hoping for, Alan? What are you hoping for from this?
Yeah, I just hope we get something not 480p. I mean, I'm hoping it's at least kind of HD quality, because prior to all this, we had to find our ways either through just getting the DVDs or using other like various streaming sites to get any way to watch the show. But some of them, the quality of what's out there is just ranges a lot of the time. So I'm glad it's going to be on Shudder now. So hopefully it's a good quality.
Yeah. And Godden, you had Shudder before, right? You had mentioned that you had Shudder.
No, it was my friend's account, so it's not like mine. But yeah, I've been on Shudder before, and that's how I found Terrifier a long time ago when it was first on Shudder. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking about getting it. I haven't gotten it yet. I think if anything, I think I might wait for the month to come to a close once more seasons or maybe all the seasons are on. It might be worth getting the free week trial just to kind of see what it's like. But yeah, I don't know.
That's a good plan.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that.
We can always go halvesies, Kenny.
Oh yeah, we can be the friends who have it. That's right. We can split it. All right. Well, today we are here to talk about season 4, episode 11, Split Personality. It aired on August 26th, 1992, and it comes to us from the Vault of Horror. And the Vault of Horror, by the way, we have recently, Godden and I kind of stumbled upon the fact that 2 of our favorite episodes actually comes from the Vault of Horror. Mine is All Through the House, and Godden's is Collection Completed. So those both come from the Vault of Horror. So suddenly the Vault of Horror has like a new place in my heart. I just really like when I get excited when I see they come from the Vault of Horror.
Oh, there's some good issues in those. So I feel you on that. The Vault of Horror has got some good adapted episodes too.
Yeah. Yeah. Vault of Horror, Tales from the Crypt. And then what is the other one that was kind of on the dark side?
Shock Suspense.
Shock Suspense. Yeah. Shock Suspense usually has some pretty horrific stories too. So this particular episode, though, stars Joe Pesci. Joe Pesci's in this episode. And this episode aired in 92. So I'm just going to read to you real quick. Wait, actually, Godden, you are our local horror historian. Tell us, What came out in 1992 with Joe Pesci?
With Joe Pesci, not
Yeah.
John Lovitz. Okay. So, Joe Pesci went really hard this year for 92. He was in My Cousin Vinny in March, and then Lethal Weapon 3 in May, followed by The Public Eye in September, and Home Alone 2, which is a huge national favorite by a lot of people, I think, in November. And then, he eventually had one of the bigger roles too in Casino, but that's a couple years down the line.
What a fantastic lineup. I can't believe he was in 4 movies, 3 of which I think are iconic. Public Eye, kind of a flop, but My Cousin Vinny, come on. Come on.
Yeah. That's great.
Lethal Weapon 3, that was a fun role. And Home Alone 2, my goodness. And then let's not forget back in 90, Goodfellas. Come on.
Goodfellas, yeah.
Classic, yeah.
Yeah. So are you more of a Goodfellas guy or a Casinos guy, by the way, Alan?
I always go back and forth between them because both so equally good. I gotta go Casino because I'm based out of Vegas, so it's near dear close home to me. So I did one time get to check out one of the places that they filmed that movie, and I think it's still around. It's the Oscar Steakhouse, is from based on Oscar Goodman that used to be the mayor out here. So there was the scene later on in Casino that they filmed it at a diner. I think it was just kind of looking outside on the Strip or Fremont. So yeah, Casino for sure. It has a lot of great memorable moments, just like Goodfellas. But I always favor that one more. I just like that story, and any movie that's set in Vegas is always cool. Yeah, so I always like that.
Godden, have you seen Goodfellas and Casino? Do you know them?
Yes. Yeah, I lean towards Goodfellas. I think it goes Goodfellas, A Bronx Tale, because Joe Pesci's in it, and then Casino.
Okay. Yeah, I go with Casino as well. And I love them both. I love Goodfellas and Casino as well. But I think Casino, I don't know what it is about that movie, but every single scene, I'm always excited about the scene that we're watching. And Joe Pesci eats it up in that one. I love how he's just such a loose cannon in such a great way. I just love his role in that. It's good. And like a lot of the scenes are just so flashy and glitzy because it's all in the Vegas Strip. So yeah, I do like it. I like that one a lot. But also, so we have Goodfellas, we have Casino. Joe Pesci plays a real sleazeball, scary guy for being so small, like such a powerful personality. But then he's in, My Cousin Vinny and Home Alone, and he's just such a comedic actor too. And I love that about him. I love that he can be so funny and so scary, and he's just such a versatile actor. I like him a lot. I like Joe Pesci. All right, so as we dive into this episode, I got to remind you all, we are not experts. We're just a group of friends who are coming together on the weekly to talk about a show that we really enjoy. We invite you to be part of that community. So if you want to leave something in the comments about your thoughts and opinions about the show, whether you agree or disagree, bring it on down there, and don't be afraid to interact with each other. There's the Tales from the Crypt community is so amazing, and so many great people out there, so many knowledgeable people out there, and so many friendly people out there. So if you're worried about, having an unpopular opinion, just put it down there and see what happens. I'm sure you might even make a friend. We got some really friendly people down there. Also, spoiler warning, we're going to go into great detail on the episode as well as the twists. So if you don't want to be spoiled, go watch the episode on your own, maybe on Shudder, and then come back and listen to us go on about it. So let us get into the episode by reading the synopsis. Inked in human blood, bound in human flesh, on the back of the DVD box set that I left over there. I'll be right back. I got it. I found it. All right. I'm curious. Yeah, I'm always interested to see what the box says and then what you guys said, because you usually come up with some really good ones. The box wasn't season 1. The box was good. I was really happy with the box set in season 1, but I think the later seasons got so big that there's not a lot of room. Like there's so many per box that they only have like a sentence. So split personality, 2 gorgeous twins, 2 look-alike brothers, 2 happy marriages, 1 killer twist. That's actually pretty good. I like that one.
I like that one.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. All right. Well, that is a little. Usually they're too short. That one is short, but it was good at least. Here's something I came up with. Sleazy casino conman Vic sets out to seduce two beautiful billionaire twins in the hopes of inheriting their fortune. When he realizes marrying just one will only get him half the money, Vic devises a plan to marry them both. Can Vic have his cake and eat it too? Or is he cutting himself too thin? I tried to work in the title, but that was a hard one.
I'm really curious to see how if they take from the DVD box sets, like the description of the episodes, and when you play one in Shudder, I'm curious if they're gonna do that or write their own. But they should definitely get you to write one of them out there.
They should hire me.
That'd be cool.
Should give me tons of money. All right. On a serious note. All right. Well, let's get into the Crypt Keeper intro. He's at a casino table, but he's using an abacus that's a bunch of eyeballs instead of beads. And I don't really get the connection. I don't really see people using an abacus to do it just doesn't it seemed weird. It seemed like kind of a way to have a bunch of eyeballs on screen. I don't know. It seemed weird to me. Maybe somebody out there knows why an abacus would be used for stats in gambling. I don't know. Anyway, he says, "Oh, hello, kiddies. Tonight's coffin caper is so crammed with ghastly greed, sickening sex, and vomitous violence that parental guidance is advised. So guide your parents out of the room so we can have some fun." I like that twist, by the way.
Yeah.
This tale concerns a gambling man with a bad case of double vision who's about to hit the hack pot. I call this twin helping of horror split personality. That's good. I like the ghastly greed, sickening sex, and vomitous violence. I love that alliteration. That's a good one.
Love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Alan, any thoughts about this Crypt Keeper intro?
Oh, I found it funny because maybe Crypt Keeper has like a side job, like Etsy. He just makes abacuses with eyeballs. Just a good way to, keep track of how much he's winning or how much the other person's losing. So they get very creative sometimes. I like how sometimes they match the theme of the episode, and other times they're a little bit random. But I appreciate it. It's always good to see the Crypt Keeper on there.
Yeah, I like the idea that
into the nitty gritty.
I like the picture that you paint that he actually made it. Like Etsy. Like he actually put it together. Like he was just finishing putting it together.
Yeah, that's the only way it makes sense to me.
Well, I do like the little gag where he does have abacus or ibacus or an eyeballcus, whichever you want to do.
Oh, eyeball kiss. I like that.
Yeah. I thought he was using it to count cards because it's a gambling thing that was happening. But yeah, why would you use an abacus for that? It was pretty fun. Like you said, that alliteration goes pretty hard on this one. I love when he just spice all these words together out of nowhere. I don't know who writes it. I don't know if it's him, the Crypt Keeper himself, who comes up with this, or the director gives him the lines. But I want to say, it does go to the Crypt Keeper the most.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wonder how much of the Crypt Keeper's dialogue is written word for word versus how much of it is just John Cassier kind of going off the cuff and just kind of riffing.
12th take, and they stick with what he had said at the time,
All right. Well, the opening panel, that we have a couple of twins who are all kind of, or one of them is like seductively rubbing a man, but the one in the front she has a chainsaw. Of course, the chainsaw is going to come into play soon here, and they're in front of a giant mansion. By the way, I think it's interesting that in this episode, Split Personality, it features a chainsaw. And in last season, we had an episode called Split Second, which featured a chainsaw. And when I was putting the episodes together, I realized that, hold on, it's going to take me a little bit to come to this point, but follow me here. Okay. Split Second is episode 11 of season 3, and Split Personality is episode 11 of season 4. So I just thought that was interesting.
That's fun. That is fun.
There was no point to what I was saying. Anyway, Alan, what do you think about this opening panel?
Oh, I love it. I mean, knowing everything that happens, and it's like a nice foreshadowing of what's to come. So babes, bodacious babes, and chainsaws. I'm all in. It got me. It got me on that cover.
Mm-hmm. Godden.
I only have one issue with this, and this would be the first time I have an issue with the opening panel. I wish it was the house from the episode. I don't like how nice this house looks. I want the ugly house. That's what I want.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, it looks.
Yeah, it's not as colorful,
different.
is it? It looks more like a ritzy penthouse.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like a nice condo. It doesn't look like the way it looked. Yeah, you're right. It's not as flamboyant as it is in the episode. I did notice that the chainsaw, which is a very phallic object, is being held by a woman down by her groin area. So I did notice that. For those of you,
Oh, like she's excited to do something kind of evil.
yes,
Yeah.
very excited.
Yeah. Sex and violence, they go hand in hand, in every horror trope.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Joe Pesci's very happy in that panel, so he just doesn't know what's coming.
Yeah.
And this is another example where the picture doesn't really look like the person it's supposed to represent. I wonder if they knew they had Joe Pesci in the bag before they drew this up.
It looks like Joe Pesci.
You think it
A skinny
does?
Joe Pesci.
Maybe it does.
Not like a round face Joe Pesci, but a slim down Joe Pesci.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe
can see
it is. I don't know. I don't see it if it is. Anyway, the opening of this episode, we're in a casino and we're following this man playing some blackjack, and he is betting, but he's kind of betting a losing hand, which didn't make sense to me. But he has a 10. Okay, he has a 10, and he's not really quite sure what to do. He's kind of nervous about it, and he even says like, these green chips, these are $5 chips, right? And the dealer's like, oh no, those are $50 chips. And he has like a mountain of them on the table. And he's like, oh no, I made a mistake. Can I take it all back? And the dealer's like, nope, they're on the table. They got to stay there. And here's the thing. A 10 is a great start in blackjack. If you have a 10, that's almost warranting a double down. So it's not a bad hand, first of all. And secondly, I think you live in Vegas, so maybe you might know better than me. Green chips are 25, are they not?
You know what? I'm not too sure. I don't go out to gamble too often, so I'm not sure what that amount is.
Okay.
But
okay.
But yeah, we're just gonna go with the show's logic that
sure
we got
we'll go with, yeah.
$50 bet on the table.
I could be wrong. I don't think there are $50 chips. I think it's $5 chips, $20 chips. I think $5 chips are red. Green. Anyway, we don't need to go down this rabbit hole. Okay. So then he gets hit, okay, and he gets a 9. So he's at 19, and he's really nervous, and he starts to lie again. He says, "Oh, not lie, I guess, but try to get some sympathy." He says, "Oh, I have a son who needs a procedure, and he was in Vietnam," and like trying to basically weasel his way out of this hand. And Joe Pesci character Vic is listening in, and he turns around, and he goes, "I think you should hit. I think you're going to get a 2. Gives him $100. He says, "I'll tell you what, here's $100. I'll bet you it's going to be a 2. And sure enough, dealer pulls out a 2 of hearts. So he's got his 21. Yeah, that's basically the setup. You kind of get introduced to our main character, Vic. Alan, we're going to start with you. What do you think of this setup here?
Oh, I like the opening, and the music already kind of set the tone. Ironically enough, another piece of media with Joe Pesci in the casino. It was cool to see. Funny enough, like because all these actors we see right now, because I don't remember if you guys, I think it was the first season, going back to Dig That Cat. He's real gone. Like the blackjack dealer is Joey, I think Pantoliano, I think his name is, or I call him Joey Pants, but he was the main guy in that one. So it's cool whenever they have these actors come back in a different role on Tales from the Crypt. That's always fun to see. And
Kenny,
the guy.
I was gonna say, I'm surprised you didn't notice that.
That was the same actor. I didn't notice that.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's just like, he's just not in it as much, but you could easily miss him.
Oh my gosh, I totally missed that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, that's so good.
Because you love that episode, so I'm surprised you didn't catch that.
I did not catch. You got that, Godden? You saw that?
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah, I was
gosh.
like, oh, I know who this guy is. He doesn't have the mustache, but I know who he is.
Oh my gosh.
It's so
I
obvious. Yeah.
totally missed it. I totally missed that.
Yeah.
Wow, what a trip.
Yeah, I mean those little things I like catching on the show.
Mhm.
And then the other guy, that was pleading his case with him and on the dealer table, Burt Young. He was like in the Rocky movies, I remember, and he had a few appearances, I think, in Sopranos. So him and Joey, the actor Joey Pants were in Sopranos too. So it's a lot of like these connections. It's like you see these certain actors work together more than once. So I'm already like excited to see how this episode progresses. And Pesci always plays this guy like he's a very smooth talker, very intimidating. Even like you said, for his size, he's very very intimidating. Like the way he portrays some of these like these characters that are two-time con man or just in the mob. So he just has a certain, as the kids say, the aura. He's got that aura in this episode. So I'm already digging it so far.
Godden, how'd you like this opening?
I enjoyed it. Like Alan said, the music is really fun to listen to as the episode, kind of unfolds. I'm still surprised you didn't catch the dealer is the main character from episode, was it 2?
3.
Right, episode 2 from season 1. Episode 3.
Yeah. Episode 3, and then he was forgot what his name was. It's gonna bug me later, but he was in the Matrix
Ulrich,
too. Yeah,
Ulrich the Undying.
Cypher, I think his name.
Oh, he was also Cypher.
Oh,
in
was
the Matrix.
Cypher. Yes, yeah, he was Cypher. That's true.
Yeah, like great caliber actors. Like this was what the show's about. It's always fun seeing these actors you've seen from other stuff around that time.
Mm-hmm. Wow, what a great cameo that I didn't even notice.
Sometimes the good ones are, I guess, the ones you miss, right? And then you go back and watch it, and it's that was him.
Yeah, it's fun.
So,
but,
go ahead, Godden. Keep going. Sorry.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't know what to expect at first. Who the main character was. I didn't know if Joe Pesci was gonna be like the side character that was gonna kind of egg this nervous gambler. Like I thought he was gonna be there for longer. Honestly, after this scene, I didn't think he'd just be kind of like a one-shot character. But it was kind of funny how everything was about twos. He was just making and cracking jokes about like two's my favorite numbers. Everything's better than twos. Like two of everything. You'll see everywhere. Like that's my stuff. And then the guy's like, oh, I'll have a double. It's like just playing into it. And the fact that Joe Pesci was able to like con him into writing him a check was like 10,000 or something, like as a down payment. Like that's insane. Like he helps him get a 21 and he gets 10,000 out of it. Like no big deal, Like at this point I didn't know if Joe Pesci was like working for the casino or some way when he was first like you should hit. I feel like you get a 2 because I actually didn't know what his role was at first. But as he was like kind of like scamming him, I was like, oh, maybe he is just always trying to hit the big game. He's trying to get that one last hit before he like kind of quits. And funny enough, that's kind of what the second scene goes through. But I was really hoping for more for the nervous gambler. I thought it was gonna be like a casino thing, where everything was just based around them gambling. I didn't think the episode was gonna go in that direction, which I didn't mind. I just thought everything's gonna be set with gambling. But
yeah, it would have been interesting if they stayed at the casino and kind of showed him kind of scamming all these people. I wouldn't have minded that angle either. Yeah. Yeah, but so after he wins his 21, the man who Joe Pesci helped, he tries to give him money, and Joe Pesci keeps saying, no, I don't want the money. And he goes, I knew you were going to get a 2. And this is what you're talking about, Godden. I knew you were going to get the 2.
Okay.
2's my lucky number. Double your pleasure. 2 heads are better than 1. The best things always come in 2s. And right when he says that, the waitress walks up with 2 drinks, right, on the tray, and he goes, make it a double. So double, toil and trouble. Here we go. So this is where Vic starts to turn on the sales pitch. He says, I got the inside scoop on something guaranteed to double our money. Minimum 10 grand. What do you say, Dan? He goes, it's Don. He keeps calling him the wrong name, by the way, too. He keeps calling him Dan. His name's Don. So Don writes him a check for $10,000, and he goes to the woman who says, how do you want it? And he says, hundreds will be just fine. And he starts to dance his way out of the casino. And just before he does, he slips some money to the dealer and says, thanks, Jimmy. Yeah, they were in on it. They were all in on it. He kind of has this whole scheme going on that also involves some of the dealers. So he's definitely out to get just to con people out of their money. And it is interesting. Like, he doesn't just want a few $100s, because he helped that guy get 21. He would have had, he was trying to give him some cash. He says, I don't want your money. I don't want it. So he doesn't want just a few $100s out of people. He wants like $10,000 out of people. So he's in it for the serious money. Yeah. Just to wrap up this whole introduction with our good friend, what the heck, Vic. Oh, by the way, Vic, remember in All Through the House, the Vic monster? I wonder if the writers have this inside joke where any sleazy character is just going to be named Vic.
That's so funny.
It would have been awesome if he sounded like Joe Pesci. Then it would all tie in together. That would have been amazing.
Can you imagine if the re-release, when now that everything's done, if they put Joe Pesci's voice into that Vic, hey, it's the Vic monster, like he just is like Joe Pesci accent. Could you imagine? Oh my God, that would be so fantastic. Yeah, what did you think of the rest of this setup before we move on? Because at this point we kind of go to the next scene. Alan, we'll start with you if there's anything else you want to add.
Yeah, for sure. I think after that whole scene played out with him pretty much conning Dawn, not Dan, of course, Dawn. I like the little. It wasn't. I wouldn't say it's the most subtle, but it's subtle enough like you could easily miss it. But I like the theme that this episode was going for with him, like just the foreshadowing in a way, and also just how things were connected. What happens to him after this scene is just all the things with regarding twos, because later he's going to meet the twins. So I like it. I like the setup so far, and we kind of have an idea. Like, yeah, this guy is a con man. He's trying to get. Yeah, he robs money from anybody, it seems like. So it's like, I'm curious to see how he gets this, come up and says, tends to be the theme sometimes with some of the episodes.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Godden, did you have any thoughts before we jump into the next scene?
Yeah, just a small one. I think after he mentioned two's his favorite number, I started looking for twos everywhere. I started digging deep in all the twos. Jimmy, 2 syllables. But I mean, I know that means nothing, but I just want to see if there's any other fun clues that kept popping for the episode. So I was keeping an eye out from that point forward.
Oh, that is interesting. Yeah, and I thought it was interesting too when he brought up two. I knew that we were going to be meeting twins eventually, so I knew the whole point of the twos. But to dwell on the twos in that way, I just thought it was interesting that because usually you hear it in threes, right? Things come in threes. 3 wishes and 3 sevens and just threes. Twos I thought was interesting because 2 to me is more like good versus evil. It's more binary. It's not. It doesn't really flow with me as far as being something that's lucky. It's more things that are kind of like this or that, or like it's more binary to me. So I did notice that the twos were kind of interesting. So this next scene is, I think, an interesting scene. He's lying in bed in a hotel room, and he's got some hooker next to him, and he's basically just giving her a diatribe. He's saying, I gotta get out of here. I'm so sick and tired of dodging the feds, sweet talking old ladies out of their rainy day cash. One of these days, I'm gonna settle down, make one big con. Who knows? Maybe even get married. And she rolls to him and she says, you're just gonna tell me your life story? And he says, shut up! And he throws a pile of money in her face. He says, I pay you to be whatever. I love his delivery on that, by the way.
Yeah. It's a great line.
And then he starts reminiscing about, I think the rest of this episode, by the way, is a flashback. I think at this point he starts reminiscing about having met these 2 beautiful women. And so he kind of explains his infatuation with twins. And then he says, oh, and that's when I met them. That's when I met basically he starts to recount his situation. Is that what's going on? Is this kind of like a recap episode?
And a couple scenes, it kind of seemed that way. Like he was reminiscing about at least meeting them, but it would obviously, yeah, like the way things progress, he wouldn't be still there. I guess it's just kind of leading up to him meeting them for the first time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what do you think about this hotel room, Alan? We'll start with you.
I like the little kind of looks like velvet sheets or just. The typical, it looked like they were like some love motel. It looked like the bed was.
Oh, it was absolutely one of those. Yeah,
heart shaped. Yeah, one of those. I dig the vibe, and yeah, I don't know. I can't think of what to add on that one.
I could imagine putting a quarter into the machine beside the bed and just having it start to vibrate.
Yeah. Yeah, I was
Oh
waiting
my
for him to do
God.
that.
Godden, what do you think about this scene?
I love the casual dialogue between the two. I wasn't expecting him to like snap at her, but I thought it was really funny. That's like so Joe Pesci, you know. But just to add on to what you were saying earlier about it being a flashback, I think it is. I think he was just narrating this whole thing to her, like before he was deciding what he wants to do with the twins. I think that's what's leading up to.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it looks like he's your typical sleazy guy. You know, he cons people. He sleeps with prostitutes. You know, like he doesn't really have like a fulfilling life. Like he even says like, you know, after he makes a big con, then he's more likely to settle down and maybe flip his life and, you know, just live peacefully. So I guess we're just in the chaos of it. Like, you know, it's just not fulfilling. He just talks and talks and talks. He pays her by the hour, right? And they expect to have sex. So that's when she brings up that comment. It's like, are we gonna have sex, or are you just gonna keep telling me your life story? It's like, well, yeah, I guess she wasn't aware of that, but unfortunately, you know, that's when he blew up on her, and
Yeah.
it was kind of a funny way that he kind of let out his steam.
Yeah,
So
he pays her to be whatever.
whatever, yeah.
Now, and that does go to that dichotomy of are you paying? Are we going to talk or are we going to have sex? Right? It's kind of like a duality between. So there goes more of the twos, right? Is it this or is it that? So I guess that kind of feeds into that narrative as well. So starting the flashback, he's driving down the road. I love this scene too, by the way, because he's driving down the road singing this weird Catalina song. I've never heard this Catalina song, but I love hearing Joe Pesci sing it. So he's driving down his in his pink BMW, just singing along to this song, and then across the road runs two black cats. It freaks him out. He swerves off the road and crashes into the entrance of a driveway to a house, and there are two black cars parked in the driveway. And so we go from two black cats to two black cars. Then he walks up the trail and sees this gaudy looking just piece of crap house. And he helps himself into the house. I love how he gets into the house too, by the way. He just says, he opens the door and he goes, "Come in." And he goes, "Sure, I don't mind if I do." So he walks into the house and he actually starts to smear the blood around on his face and kind of dishevel himself, and, you know, to make himself look more beat up than he really is. And so he's already starting like his own narrative in his mind. He's already trying to craft a situation. So he's a pretty savvy con artist. Before we get into in the house and then meeting people in the house, I just want to check in with you guys. Alan, what did you think of this first part of the flashback here?
Oh, very cool. I mean, it keeps. I like how they keep throwing this out, like the things that are coming in twos. Like it's twos, if I remember, but like these things start to go against him a little bit. The two black cats causing him to blow his tire out on his car, and then coming up to the house. I'm surprised that the house wasn't like in like twos, like divided in twos or something related to twos. But we get that very popular moment from the, I don't know, the memes that have been, you know, circulate online. That's the what Joe Pesci scene. So it was cool seeing that again, especially the first time rewatching this episode. Yeah, that's my favorite part.
Yeah. God, what do you think about this scene?
It was fun. You know, before he crashed, because it looks like he believes in a lot of luck, and I feel like if you're superstitious, you would also understand that bad luck exists. So when he saw two cats, I'm surprised it's not like, oh, he has double the bad luck, you know, coming through him or something, or, you know, coming his way. But that's kind of what I took from it when I saw the two guys. I'm like, well, two bad lucks is about to happen somehow. I don't know if it's gonna be in order or just double whammy.
Yeah.
And like what Alan said, you know, after he crashes and he kind of sees his ridiculous house, and he, you know, says like, "Oh, what the fuck is this musician?" I'm like, "Oh my god, that's where it comes from. The stupid meme comes from Tales from the Crypt. Like, what are the chances this is how I find out? You know, because I never looked into it, but I had agreed with him like on the spot when he made that comment, because it is such an ugly house.
It's such a
Like,
gaudy
that
house.
it's like surreal for the setting, right? It's like he's a sleazy con man, and like he was in a casino, and the next thing there's this ugly house. Like it just felt out of place, you know, like no house would exist in that time period. I felt like that was on purpose. Like it's an eyesore for sure. So I'm surprised he even went in the house. Like I didn't expect him to go in, because maybe he's just enamored by like how ugly it was. He's like, I have to check it out. You know, like I don't know, but
Yeah. So he helps himself inside, and he sees the picture of the architect of the house. It's Etchison Dobbs Blair. He says, "What a goofy looking guy!" And I love how he's looking at this goofy looking guy, and then it pans over to Vic, and they almost look the same. Like they have like the same facial expression. That's where he gets confronted by the owner of the house. She comes in, she says, "Don't move unless you want your brains all over Daddy's picture." And she's holding a gun at him. And so he's kind of sitting there. And that's when the sister comes walking out. And you see that they're twins. And the sister, by the way, is holding a black cat, which makes me think, were those the sister's two black cats? Because I don't think you ever see a second black cat in the house. You see two black cats run across the street, but you never see each one of the sisters holding their own black cat, which I kind of expected to see. But they definitely have at least one black cat. So their names are April and June. And the moment I thought of this, Vic says, "What happened to May?" And this is where he goes to call for a tow truck. And they zoom in on the phone. He has his finger on the hanger-upper. That's a real term, by the way. Don't look it up. So he's hanging up the phone while he's dialing for a tow truck, which I didn't understand because later on a tow truck driver arrives. So I was confused, like, wait, what? So after the call, he starts schmoozing, or maybe I think it's before the call. He starts schmoozing up with them saying, "You really have a beautiful home here. In fact, next to the Case Observatory up in Old Valley, I think this house might be Blair's greatest architectural achievement." Of course, he's delivering it in his wonderful Joe Pesci accent. I love this.
Mm-hmm.
This is German expressionist influence, 50s futurism. The man was a genius. So he, of course, is impressing these girls who are proud of their dad and what he's done. So yeah, he knows how to impress these girls. So at this point, he kind of warmed up to him, and he's hanging out with him for a while. And this is where you find out that they are billionaires, and immediately, right, dollar signs in his mind. So I think at this point, he's like, "Let's do this." Like, he knows his plan already. There's even a moment where they're holding the cat, and he goes, "Oh, I love cats." And he goes to pet it, and the cat swaps at him. So, he's willing to put up with that cat pawing at him just so he can try to, have a chance to schmooze up with these billionaire women. Anyway, before we get too far, Alan, what do you think about this meet cute so far with the twins?
Oh, I enjoyed it. Like Joe Pesci chewing up the scenery as always, and it was nice seeing like his character adapt to the situation and just kind of use he seems pretty knowledgeable about architecture, so he was able to pull that out of his butt to kind of swoon over the twins. Funny enough, to go back on the scene after he had just got in, I didn't catch this at first, but I know John pointed it out when we talked about this one. Is the Richard Donner was the dad that's on that photo frame that he was looking at. So he's the kind of the longtime producer, and I think he directed one episode for the show for Tales from the Crypt. So again, sometimes these little things I like trying to catch, and you miss it at first and you see it again when you watch it. Just these little tidbits of cameos in this show. I love it.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Godden, what do you think about the twins introduction?
I thought it was cool. She comes in with a gun that got my attention. She got a little revolver, pinned at him, and I do like how he de-escalate the whole thing. Like it's when he plays his con man mode. He's throwing buzzwords like Germanic expressionist, 50s futurism. Like I don't know if he was on the nose. Maybe he's just been conning all the time, where he actually does have like some fundamentals of what he's talking about, so he's able to apply it. But it was great because like you slowly see the twins slowly calm down. And I did think as well, like when she brought that one cat, I'm like, is that the cat that kind of bothered the driving and then made him crash, or coincidentally they just had a black cat? And yeah, I was also a little confused as well when, after he's trying to escalate and de-escalate, he makes the phone call for a tow truck, but he is holding it on the hanger-upper, whichever you said.
Hanger-upper. That's the real word. Don't look it up.
Hanger-upper. And yeah, I didn't quite understand that part. I thought he just at that point, you just want to hang out with them, and he's making an excuse like, "Oh, I'm calling them, but they're never gonna show up." So it was interesting how he was schmoozing, as you say, towards them and hanging out before the tow truck driver came in just through the door knocking like, did anyone call for a tow truck? It's like, what is this? Like, no, like I guess it's just back in the day where people didn't really lock their doors, so you would just keep your head in. It's just normal to do that compared to nowadays, So it's just interesting how it's like very sitcom-y. He's like, did anyone order the mailman? Did anyone, order milk? It's like, okay, hey man. So this fun.
Well, that's where we get a little bit of a we go back to the hotel room. He starts talking about really being into these women, and that's where we get like a montage, like these dates. They go on all these dates. So he's bringing them flowers, he's bringing them presents. They go out for ice cream, and he's really warming up to him, and he even says like they're recluses. They never come out. So he's I think he's enjoying himself on getting them to come out and be more social and just more adventurous, I guess. I don't know if he's genuinely excited about that, or if he's just more excited about knowing that they like him. I don't know. What do you guys think? Alan, what do you think?
I think it's the money and a bit of both. That, well, I think he did mention. I remember prior to him crashing his car, he had mentioned to the prostitute that he was going on about in his monologue. Like he wants to like kind of get it off his bucket list and kind of make it. He said make it with twins. So this is like a dream come true for him to have twins, and then also trying to get rich off of their money in some way, shape, or form, to con them out of the money. Funny enough, I thought the same thing. Like I wondered if it was their cats or not, because I think we only ever see one of them holding them at a time, and yeah, it was just, I always found it interesting, and it makes me think too. Sometimes these random things happen, and I like to try to kind of explain them away in my logic, but I think maybe why it felt so awkward with that scene with the tow truck driver coming out of nowhere. Maybe just like the previous scene in the beginning, maybe he was working with him to kind of give that illusion. It's like, yeah, I guess I'm gonna go now, girls. So it was nice meeting you. And then later on they kind of got smitten with them. So it was like, can we see you again? So I like to think maybe he was in cahoots with him. They don't really say it, but that's just my idea.
So
that'd be funny.
Yeah, Godden, what do you think about this little montage of dates?
During the montage of the dates, I mean, it was cute and whatnot, but he because I think he was narrating that to like the prostitute in bed about it, because he said something about icebergs or like melting the ice or something like that, like another way to like get them to show their personality towards them. But it's kind of funny that, because I'm trying to understand how at the end of the last scene before he had left, he was about to leave with the tow truck driver. They just like flip the script. They're like, oh, if you ever wanna, swing by, blah, blah, blah. It's like, I didn't really understand. Maybe he's just so charming. He's just so charming. He got both of them. So it was kind of whatever to me. But clearly, he started going on dates. It was kind of cutesy, like I mentioned earlier. I didn't know what was gonna happen. I had a feeling like they were just gonna kill him or something, or I don't know what was gonna happen with the twins and him at that point. I was waiting for some sort of like catalyst for people like, oh, that's the plot line. Oh, we're gonna go this direction. But I'm just, I guess, at the edge of my seat, like, oh my god, what's gonna happen next? What's gonna happen next? Is he gonna date both? Are they gonna fight over him? Like, I just was waiting and waiting.
So this next scene is the Vic character. Like at this point, he's activating seduction mode, right? He's taking him into their rooms and he's starting to sweet talk them. And I do like how their rooms are designed like a mirror, so like they're mirror copies of each other. And this whole scene is like back and forth. Like he'll ask one twin something, but then it'll flip to the other side, and then the other twin will respond. So he's having these two conversations at different times, but it's spliced together as if he's having it all at the same time. I really like it. And he's basically saying, you're so beautiful. I really like you, and you're not like your sister. And I want to tell you something, but it's got to stay a secret. He says, you're not exactly identical. You see, one of you is more beautiful than the other. And that's the line he uses on both of them. And then he finally uses that to sleep with each of them. And that's where we get another shot from the hotel. And he says, the only way I can get all the money is if I marry them both. And the only way I can do that is if there were two of me. And that's where he comes up with this plan. He goes to the sisters and he tells them, you see, I have a twin brother. I have a twin brother. I didn't tell you because I was kind of embarrassed about it, but we have a property in South Africa. So he watches it for a month and then he comes back here and then I go and I watch it for us. So we take turns watching this land in South Africa. And so I'm leaving, but my brother's going to be here basically soon. And you can meet him. I love he describes him as he's much more he's from California and he's much more flamboyant than I am. And I love when you finally meet him. It's the same guy. He's dressed in like a leather jacket. He's got a ponytail with an earring and everything else is the same. He's the same, like just smarmy guy. What did you think about this whole twin dynamic, Alan?
I love it. It was like the introduction to another twin brother. He just I just forgot. I forgot to mention it. I was embarrassed. I like how he threw on like he still has his kind of New York accent still going, but he's trying to talk like a guy from California. He's like, oh, bodacious babes. Just having him read that or say it out loud did it for me. That was hilarious.
That's right. It's the same accent. He's just using different words with the accent.
Yeah, he's got the ponytail and just the one earring. That's how eccentric he is, I guess.
Those Ozzy Osbourne glasses.
I love it. It's gonna be my Halloween idea.
Hey, I wonder how many people would recognize that costume. That'd be great, though.
That would be great. Yeah.
Godden, what do you think about this twin?
I was a little upset that he decided to get greedy because he wanted the 2 billion or however much it was. I felt like he could have got his way if he married one and with his sleazy self maybe charmed the other one, and now he has two realistically. One's a mistress, one's like the wife or whatever. But I felt like he overplayed his hand by marrying or wanting to marry both by playing his own twin brother. But the first thing I thought of when he introduces his twin brother was that he's Tails, right? Because he has a longer ponytail, and he's Head because he's the smart one. Oh. He's more verbose because that's what he said. He's like, yeah, my twin brother's not as doesn't have the vocabulary like me. He's from California. He grew up in California, so he's kind of he's meh. But I'm like the guy, so I'm the best of the two. So I thought it was interesting that. I mean, I feel like he could have just. If he wants to, he could try and play himself twice instead of saying, "Oh, that's my twin brother. He has a ponytail," because then he has to add stuff to himself. I feel like he should just kept with just being the con man and just like not really alter his looks as much. But I had to feel like this is his downfall. He's gonna it's gonna be hard for him to keep up with this. Like he's gonna slip up. There's like it'd be way too hard to not slip up on this. So I'm surprised this is the first time during his con where he doesn't have a person helping him. He's just like I said, double dipping. He's being greedy. So I was like, well, good luck to Joe Pesci. It was good knowing him. I wonder how this is all going to unfold. So I'm so expecting more. I'm waiting for more. So I was excited.
Yeah, if he had gone back to the casino and got with his friend Jimmy and said, hey, right, be my wingman or whatever, I wonder if he could have, right? He could have said, hey, Jimmy, marry this woman and you keep half and I keep half. He could have went that route. Yeah, he wanted it all. He's just so greedy. Oh, Joe Pesci. So the next scene, we're at the pool. He's swimming in the pool, and foreshadowing, or is it? I don't know. There's the guy's using a chainsaw to clean up some of the landscaping around the area. So he's trying to relax by the pool. This guy's using the chainsaw. He says, "Hey, quiet down over there," and he shuts the chainsaw off, and he goes, "See, nice and quiet. Calm, serene. It's beautiful." I love his accent, by the way. I love his lines. You're right when you say he's hamming it up. Every single scene with Joe Pesci is just so great. I love his dialogue. So he's laying there by the pool trying to relax, and that's where you get some ominous conversation between the twins. They're up there watching down over the pool, and they said, "We can finally put the past behind us." So they're trying to escape something from their past. I guess that plays more into that duality, doesn't it? Like the past versus future. I'm just trying to think of more twos is what I'm doing. But at the same time, he's laying on his stomach down there getting a tan, and that's when, like, I guess the breeze blows part of his cloth over his back. So he's gonna have this that'll come back into play later. Anyway, what do you think about this so far, Alan?
Yeah, so far I feel like and we might be counting down Joe Pesci's days, especially with the little scene we got there when he was doing his tanning, and I think the bathrobe got over a piece of it got over his back, so you just got like a patch of white. So yeah, I think we're gonna find out pretty soon. Yeah, he's not able to keep this up forever. I think he would have benefited for sure being a 2-man on this one to try to get these twins money. This is a lot of work. It's like cartoons, just trying to remember how to act one way with them and then in a different way with the other.
Yeah, they say if you always tell the truth, you never have to remember anything. So the fact that he's trying to lie about this, right? He's got to keep all these stories straight in his head, which, to be honest with you, he is kind of doing. But at the same time, some cracks start to show in his whole presentation, and it starts with this whole suntan issue going on. Godden, what do you think about this the pool scene here?
He's basking in his glory. He's done it. He's married both girls. At this point, he's just kind of cruising. So it's kind of fun seeing him just kind of cruise. Like he's kind of like patting himself on the back. It's unfortunate he kind of yell at the gardener. He's just there to do his job. But I didn't quite pick up on the chainsaw. Maybe I should have noticed there's maybe something with the chainsaw, but I thought nothing of it. I was like, whatever. He's just a gardener, whatever. And yeah, and then they really showcase when he gets that robe like on his like back. It's like, oh no, this might be it. And I'm like, oh no, how are they gonna find out? And I was thinking to myself, like, like, is she just gonna have sex with both? And then they mention it, but I'm pretty sure that's more than likely what's gonna happen about it and how they're gonna bring it up. So it was kind of fun knowing what it's gonna cause like them to figure that he's conning both of them. So yeah. I was still in excitement, just waiting. How's this all gonna end? How's this all gonna end? So
yeah. So we did skip over the marriage scene. It was kind of short though, but there was basically they get married. I think Vic gets married it's a day wedding, and then a night wedding is his brother, right? So I wonder if it's the same day, just one's a day, one's a night. I don't know. I just it was a really quick scene of them getting married, but at the very end, when he says "I do," he puts a cigar in his mouth, and what does he say? He says something. You remember what he says?
I do remember him saying something. I do forget the quote though, unfortunately. But yeah, it was something fun. Something Joe Pesci. Insert your favorite Joe Pesci line.
Insert your Joe Pesci line. He says, "Whatever," and he puts a cigar in his mouth.
Yeah.
So this next scene, the ladies are by the pool now, and they're kind of sharing their little stories with their lovers. And one of them says, "Oh yeah, he likes to tie me up in bed, and it wasn't his first time doing it." And then the other sister responds, "Oh, you're kidding. Vic does the same to me too. I guess they're alike in so many ways." And the other one confides in the other one, saying just before he left, he had a white mark on his back where his suntan, got covered up. And the other one says, "Hey, Vic too," or whatever. They're kind of going back and forth, and they're starting to put it together. Like, what the heck's going on here? So they sneak into his room while he's in the shower, singing that stupid Catalina song again. And they go through his things, and that's where they see his ponytail. So his ponytail is the tell-all. It gave everything. It tattled on him. It was a tattletale. It told on him. He gets out of the shower. He's getting ready. And I love how he says, "You two better get dressed to kill, because I'm going to take you out for a feast tonight." So they are getting dressed to kill. While he's getting ready, he notices the drawer that's always been locked is unlocked. So he opens it up and he starts to go through the drawer, and that's where he sees all these newspaper articles, which revealing to him that the father died under mysterious circumstances. The twins were suspects, but eventually nothing kind of came of it. They got acquitted, I guess, or something, or they weren't found guilty, but everybody thinks they did it. That's where the girls come up behind him and hit him over the head with a gun and knock him out. What do you think about all of this setup here, Alan?
Yeah, man, I'm just surprised that he slipped up that easily, just leaving his detachable ponytail by the shower. You'd think he'd at least bring it in with him or something. He just let the moment get ahead of himself. I guess that's what he slipped up, pretty much. And yeah, I find it funny because I think definitely seemed like a little bait there for him, because it was just all of a sudden the drawer was open and that all those articles are there. So I found it interesting how they set that up.
I think it was on purpose
before he gets knocked out. Yeah, basically, the articles say foul play suspected and the twins were acquitted. So it kind of goes into everything you need to know, given him finding out and then him getting knocked out.
Mm-hmm. Godden, what do you think of this reveal here?
I do like the reveal. It's kind of funny. I didn't catch it that we actually skip over that specific scene right between the tan line and them talking about the tan line. You know how he was getting dressed and he's like, "What is this? Drawer? Like, why is this always locked?" Because then I got wondering too. I'm like, "Why is that drawer locked?" I was like, "Okay, I hope they get back to that." And I'm glad it's just seen later they get back to that so quick. I'm like, "Okay, I guess we're kind of pushing to the ending." It didn't feel super like rushed, but it was nicely paced. Like it was kind of like we're getting to the ending. But yeah, unfortunate for Joe Pesci. He was having the time of his life, singing. So the ecstasy, or I don't know what song it was, but I was kind of like gonna look up the song after this, honestly, because I wonder what he was singing. Because I think I'm with you now. I do like when Joe Pesci sings. He either chooses songs or they provide him some good songs. But yeah, it was interesting. He has his I don't know his Jack's his brother's name. Yeah, I'm surprised his Jack outfit is just lying out in the open. Like what Alan said, like why didn't he bring it with him? How is he not more secretive about it? Like I don't know. Maybe he did get ahead of himself, like what Alan mentioned. So at this point, it ties back to that one scene when it was going the back and forth between him with June and April about like the oh, you're more beautiful than your sister, because they were saying like, oh, you don't know her, she's like crazy, she like she's like or a terrible person when you get under her skin. And he's like, oh, I don't think she can hurt a fly. Like I'm surprised he didn't like think of that. Like maybe he downplayed how upset they would be if they found out they were conning him. Oh, he was conning them. So we get to see that side of them, like just like that psychopathic side of them just flip, right? When they're playing with the ponytail and they're just getting more and more steamed up and it's just more and more intense. So I was like, oh, well, Joe Pesci is about to meet, what the headline is, the split personalities, right? So I'm interested how that would be. So it was pretty smart how they left the drawer open, knowing he's been so curious what's behind it, for him to be distracted with all like the riddles and all the newspaper clippings, just for them to casually come up behind him and just smack him in the head and prepare him, for their revenge. So I like how it slowly all came together. It felt like a movie. I want more of this. I just want more of this episode. But I'm sad that we're getting to the end of it, honestly.
I forgot about when he was kind of like seducing them, that they were kind of saying, oh, my sister can get really, really violent or really, whatever. I did forget about that. That's a good point to bring that back up too. Well, that brings us to the final scene, which is they tie him up in bed and they basically say, we can't share you. We want you all to ourselves. And just like Dad, right? They didn't want to share Dad, so they had to keep him all to themselves. So basically they tie him up in bed, they take out a chainsaw and cut him in half. And I like how they cut him in half, by the way. I know I brought this up kind of loosely already, but I thought it was interesting that they use a chainsaw, which is a phallic object, and they plunge it into his groin. Like they literally are doing to him what he does to them. So I just thought it was an interesting way to actually introduce that chainsaw into his body. So I noticed that. So they slice him down the middle. And that's where we get the shots where it goes from one bedroom to the other. And from their perspective, it looks like they're just laying with Vic and Jack, but of course he's cut in half. So, yeah, that's. What do you think, Alan? What do you think?
Oh, this was fantastic. It was cool. At least we got some gore. I know you're very into the gore portions of some of these episodes, and it was great that we got this because I wasn't sure leading up to this how bloody it was gonna get, but didn't think they're gonna go in crotch first. But that's funny. You see him wiggling around, and then had like his fake boxy crotch. You know,
it looked great. It looked really good.
There still, and yeah, him shaking. That was great. And I love the transition, like the way they framed the shot of them showing both of them laying down with the other half of him, and then it looks perfectly normal, like this, just two dudes laying down on each of the rooms, like we mentioned, the rooms are exactly almost the same, and then you get that cool shot of them panning to the other side of them laying down with him. That was great. That was a great bloody shot.
Mm-hmm. God, what do you think about this ending?
It was satisfying, honestly. The moment, well, see, I don't know who did what. I don't know if it was April or June who had the honors of splitting him up. Maybe it was, because I forget. Maybe it was June. Yeah, it was June that Vic marries, because then April marries Jack. But yeah, the minute she had the chainsaw ready and was kind of aiming towards the groin, I was thinking of Terrifier 3, because that was actually the first time I saw like a chainsaw kill starting from the groin and splitting them upward. You know, because usually you see chainsaw movies or horror movies that use chainsaw, they hack you with it, like shoulder or arms or whatever. So it was interesting. I saw like that parallel, and yeah, I was like, this is the gore that Kenny would like. When I saw it, I'm like, he's gonna approve so much of this. And I don't know if it was like paper mache or what, but you know, that half of Joe Pesci looks so good. You know, his like his face side before you see like his dismemberment. Like it was just so nice, like with all the pool of blood, the split organs. Like it was really well done, honestly. And you see like their psychopathic nature, just like caressing, you know, his chest, like, oh, I'm glad we got a part of you or whatever they said at the end. So it's very eerie that they're just like that. They're just psychos. So
yeah, I definitely enjoyed all the gore at the end. It was very nice. Well, that brings us back to the Crypt Keeper, who's at the casino table. There's a beating heart on the table. He smacks it with a cleaver. He says, "I guess old Vino Vic thought he could double his fun and his bank account. Too bad he was only half right. Oh well, it just proves the old saying, behind every bad man, there's two women with a chainsaw. So kiddies, care for a little maim of chance? Deads, I win. Tails, you ooze." He's so punny. Any final thoughts about this Crypt Keeper outro? Alan, we'll start with you.
I just gotta say, I would love to write for the Crypt Keeper. That is just seems so fun, putting in these puns and all these things that tie the episode together. It was great. I love it. That's one of the more funner Crypt Keeper appearances that we get after the episode. So it's great.
Godden, what are your thoughts?
I'm trying to remember, but I don't know if the Crypt Keeper was the dealer or the player, because it pans over like just a deck of cards. Well, not deck of cards, but like the player's hands, like of like blackjack, I want to assume. And it was cool seeing like that heart there, like just beating before he kind of slammed a cleaver on it. Because like it's like, oh, more gore. The gore is continuing. The gore is continuing. But I agree. He's very punny in this one. He's really selling it, and I think this might be one of my more favorite intro outros from the Crypt Keeper. There's a lot going on with what he's doing, and it's really fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was good. It was good from beginning to end. The Crypt Keeper intro and outro, the entire episode, all of Joe Pesci's ridiculous singing. Oh, he was also singing "I'm too sexy for myself." He kept singing that. I thought that was funny too. Yeah, great episode. A lot of fun. When it comes to shows or movies that depicts like conning people, in particular, like putting on a fake identity to con somebody else. Can you think of any other movies or TV shows that do something like that?
Catch Me If You Can.
Oh, Catch Me If You Can. Yes, with DiCaprio and Tom Hanks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good old Tom Hanks.
Hey, Tom Hanks is a Crypt Keeper alumni.
Oh yeah, it's true. Alumni. That's how we do it. The Tales of Alumni.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I'm thinking it's either it might have been American Hustle or Matchstick Man, Nick Cage too. I think that's the only ones I could think of. Had something to do with con artists. You'd think there'd be more. I know there's probably one really good one that I just can't think of.
Have you guys seen Focus? It's a whole movie with Will Smith and Margot Robbie where it's all about conning. That's all it is. It's a pretty fun one, honestly. I mean, it's sometimes a little over the top in terms of like the dialogue. It's like, okay, they're really trying to sell us. Like they're so smart, they're so slick. Like everyone's dumb around them. It's like, okay, that gets a little too out there, but it's still pretty fun with the gimmicks. Or even actually, Now You See Me, the whole magicians being heist men. I thought that was fun too. Like they're just conning everyone with their illusions. So that kind of works in a way.
Or like even like the Mission Impossible movies, right? Where they have like the face masks that they wear.
The masks, yeah. That's a good one.
It got a little out of hand though. Like everybody's wearing a face mask, by like the sequels.
Yeah.
I'm wearing a face mask on my face mask.
Yeah, it's like, what are we doing?
Or like other, I guess, other casino heisty type movies, like 21. Also, Casino. How interesting is it that Joe Pesci was in this episode, which heavily featured a casino, to only be in a movie called Casino just a few years later? That was interesting. How about the idea of there being twos, like two black cats or two somethings? Any other movies you could think of with twos or twins in particular?
The Prestige.
Oh, Prestige.
Have you seen that?
I haven't.
Christian Bale and Hugh Jackman, and the twist was Christian Bale had a twin brother helping him with all the magic tricks.
Oh, and there's the man in the iron mask, right? The Leonardo DiCaprio character had a twin that he's kind of trying to hide from other people.
Well, there's the what's it called? Malignant. I think there was like a parasitic kind of twin situation going on there, I think. And then there's that Tom Hardy crime movie Legend that he was like him played two characters as twins.
I love Legend. That's such a good movie.
Yeah. That's the only ones I could think. You'd think there'd be like killer twin horror movies out there. I don't know.
Oh, there's Basket Case. Have you seen Basket Case?
No, I haven't seen that one.
It's an awful 80s horror. Like this man is he's a conjoined twin, but he cuts off his conjoined twin and it's in a basket. So he's like a normal looking dude.
This is so funny.
But then his crazy killer brother lives in this basket. Oh, and there's the twin episode, the conjoined twin episode in season 2, right?
Yeah.
What was that? My Brother's Keeper? Is that what it was called?
Yeah. I think that's what it is. My Brother's Keeper. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Or even the ventriloquist dummy when he had could be his twin,
right,
in his hand.
Okay, I guess twins come up quite a bit more, don't they? Now that you think about it. Well, all right. So for the final rating on this episode, I like this episode a lot. Joe Pesci really hams it up. He makes it so much fun from beginning to end, listening to all of his just stupid dialogue. I like the gore at the end. I am thinking, so I'm going to have Godden go first. Godden, what would you give this?
Kind of a hard one, Kenny. It might be a perfect 5. I have no issues with this episode, honestly. The only issue I have is the opening panel not matching the house. That's it. Everything else played very, very smoothly. It really complemented like how the storytelling went. Whether he was reminiscing and telling the prostitute, and the whole like he's talking to both the twins, and there's a lot of back and forth, and then it threw me off. I'm like, oh, which one's April? Which one's June? Because I was trying to match the background to keep in play, but I'm like, I honestly forgot who was who. So I'm like, that was nice, and Yeah, I have no issues with the episode. I liked it. Everything was so satisfying from beginning to end. So yeah, I had to give it a 5.
All right.
5 twos. I don't know.
5 twos. Give this 5 twos. 2 2 2 2 2 5 twos.
Yeah, 5 twos.
Alan, how about you?
Oh wow, yeah. I mean, this is up there. It's one of my top 5s for sure for the whole series. I love Joe Pesci and anything he's in. He's always stealing the show, even with something that's even almost intended to be kind of campy, but he just delivered it with such ease and such. It's just amazing. I love it. From that's the only downside. Is like you wish these episodes were longer sometimes, but yeah, that's either here or there. But I think it's perfect because it's just starts and just ends right away. Like you just get so into it and you forget how how short the episodes are in general, and you just kind of want more. It's surprising we never got another episode with him in it, to be honest, and it would have been great for it. But I love it. I love the whole story involved with him being a con artist, to him kind of getting his comeuppance and everything coming in twos, and just the music in there and the direction of it from all of the pivotal moments in there. Yeah, it's definitely a perfect 5 out of 5 for me. Like five ponytails, fake ponytails. I'm gonna give it this one.
Yeah, I when I was thinking, okay, 4.75 or 5. I was kind of like on the fence. Yeah, I can't think of anything to give this less than a 5. This is a 5. I agree with you guys. A 5. I'm gonna give this 5 whatevers.
Oh, there you go.
Perfect.
Yeah, just his dialogue alone just makes this such a fun. Even if the episode was bad, his dialogue alone would have made it so much more fun. But it was good on top of it being just a funnily scripted. That's a word. Don't look it up.
Yeah, it's a word.
All right. Well, that's going to bring us to Horrorspondence. We had a few comments on the most recent episode to have aired since during this recording is King of the Road. So Iron Sabbath writes to us regarding King of the Road. He says, this is a fun romp. It's definitely not like your usual Tales from the Crypt, but it's a really good story with some excellent pacing. Sure, it may leave some questions regarding Joe and his Iceman persona, but it's okay. I think Brad Pitt's Billy character was just striving to be the best, so he had to go after the best. Using Iceman's previous history against him was his ploy to get him to race. I agree. That's kind of how it was going. He gives it 3.5 out of 5 hot rods. Iron Sabbath, by the way, was one of our guest hosts. So yeah, we like hearing from Iron Sabbath. Joseph Hill writes to us as well from about King of the Road. He says that this is a polarizing episode. I've seen people rank it as one of the worst, and some people consider it a favorite. I wouldn't go quite top tier, but I do enjoy it, and I have some nostalgia for it. He gives it 3.5 bad road, wretched roads.
I love that.
Yeah. And the Jamirian comes through, aka Jimmy Ryan, but the Jamirian writes to us saying, this episode is all right. I wasn't a fan at first, but upon more views, I liked it more. He gives it 3 spiders. 3 spiders in the mailbox, perhaps? Oh, and he also responded regarding Shudder. He says, I do have Shudder, and I plan to check out Tales from the Crypt, even though I already have the DVDs. I want to see if the quality of the upload is improved. And plus, watching it will boost the algorithm so more streamers can watch it. I thank you for that. That's good. Yeah, that's a good idea too. Just watch it. Just keep it on repeat. Just put it on repeat. At this point, if you're still watching, okay, if you made it through everything that you've made it through to get to this point in the episode, I want you to comment down below. What is your favorite Joe Pesci movie? It could be anything, or okay, this is like a twofer. You got to pick Goodfellas or Casino, right? That's number 1. And then if one of those aren't your favorite Joe Pesci movie, what is your favorite Joe Pesci movie? So, Alan, you chose Casino over Goodfellas. Is Casino your favorite Joe Pesci movie?
Yeah, it's up there. I would say that's my number 1 for sure. Home Alone, I gotta yeah, I got a fondness for too. I watched those movies growing up as a kid, and yeah, I always remember him from that. But he says that's how versatile he is, because he's played such iconic, like almost comedic roles or involved in comedic roles, and also just more, more intimidating, like strong masculine characters. So it's really interesting to see how his career was around that time. So Casino for sure. I love Casino.
Oh yeah, Casino's top notch. Yeah, and his career was, especially at this time, was really booming. All right, so Godden, you chose Goodfellas, but is that your favorite Joe Pesci movie?
Oh yeah, 100%. Goodfellas is such an iconic movie for me. Honestly, it has a special place in my heart. So yeah, I will say it's my favorite Joe Pesci movie.
Mm-hmm. Ever since I was a kid, I always wanted to be a gangsta. I love that opening line. Casino is my favorite of the two. Something we didn't talk about, but I want to bring this up. I like at the very end, just before the Joe Pesci character in Casino gets taken out, he's doing a voiceover. He's talking, but then in the voiceover, when he gets hit in the back with a bat, you actually hear him go like in the voiceover. So it's almost like he was doing like an inner monologue that got interrupted by him getting hit by a bat. I thought that would have been pretty funny if in this episode he was giving like a monologue while he was being chainsawed, and then when the chainsaw went in, you heard him like scream. So Casino is up there as far as my favorite movies, just in general. Just it's probably in my top 10. Casino, just all of all movies. Joe Pesci though, my goodness, I'm gonna have to say either Casino, Home Alone. I also like My Cousin Vinny. I thought that was really, really good.
Yeah.
Classic.
So, okay. So yeah, if you're still watching, comment down below, Goodfellas or Casino. That's number 1. And then number 2 would be, what's your favorite Joe Pesci movie? So, okay. We have a special announcement to make. And we already made this announcement on your podcast, Alan. We forgot to mention it on our podcast though. So we're a week late saying this. Our birthday's coming up. The Cryptique podcast, our very first episode, episode 0, which is just me and Godden introducing ourselves very awkwardly, mind you. It's before we got the feel for this whole podcast. Go watch the episode if you want to have some cringe moments. On the 25th of this month, we are going to celebrate our birthday. We have kind of like a special event. What do you want to call it, Godden? A special what? What's going on here?
Special promo.
We have some special videos coming out on the 25th. It's not going to be a normal podcast. It's going to be a celebratory kind of a thank you and just event. I don't know how else to put it. So look forward to that. Put that on your calendars for Monday, the 25th of this month. You'll be surprised with a couple of extra Cryptique videos during that week. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. And that's all I wanted to mention about that. So shout outs. I want to give some shout outs and shine the light back out into the horror community, especially around Tales from the Crypt and other podcasts. And I can't even begin to do that without acknowledging Creeps of the Crypt podcast. Alan is the co-host Creeps of the Crypt along with John. John is not here today with us in this podcast, but we have plans for him joining us in the future. So hang tight. So soon we'll have John here too. I want to say I'm going to have a link to your podcast, to your channel in the description below. So click on that and go show Alan and John some love from the Cryptique podcast. So any last thing you want to say about Creeps of the Crypt or what you have going on, Alan?
Yeah, like you mentioned, we're on YouTube. I think John started moving things over our own dedicated Creeps of the Crypt YouTube channel. So definitely on there, have all the latest episodes. We're planning on for sure going back on a few that we maybe missed talking about, like, because we sort of like, I really like the idea of just comparing like their adaptation of the comic compared to like what the actual episode turned out to be, or just doing comparing and contrasting of like the story. Sometimes they're, pretty 90% similar. Other times they kind of go on their own little direction. But I always find it interesting when we go over those. But yeah, for sure. It's crazy because I think it's been about 3 years too that we started doing it. So it's crazy how long it's been since me and John just got together, because we known each other for a long time prior to this. And yeah, it got me into Tales from the Crypt, because I've known about it. I just never, sat down and watched the episodes like, with 100% focus, but I knew about it as a kid. So it's been a lot of fun just going over these, and just, it's exciting having this come on streaming at last for the first time, because it was really hard to get it any way to watch these in a decent quality. So I'm excited for people to watch it for the first time if they haven't, when they go on Shudder. It's gonna be exciting.
Yeah, that'll be exciting. It's remarkable to me how similar we are in our dynamic to you and your dynamic on Crypt of the Crypt, because I have the box set. I'm a big Tales from the Crypt fan. I haven't seen all the episodes, but either has John. And when you come to our side over here, Godden kind of got introduced to Tales from the Crypt through me. He came over, he'd come over to hang out. We'd look through my movie collection, and sure enough, hey, what is that? What is this show? And
what was that kids show?
Yeah. Back on our episode 0, back on May 25th of last year, Godden actually says, like, what is this? He thought it was a kids show. He didn't realize that there was like the sex and the violence and the foul language. And so, yeah, that definitely took him by surprise. Well, okay. For any other, there's other podcasts, there's other shows that we like. And if we like it and you're here listening to us go on about Tales from the Crypt, odds are you might like it too. There's plenty of other things down below that you can go click on and just peruse. Alan, I'm glad that you mentioned that you guys have a new YouTube channel, because you guys went from Ghost Crusaders to now Creeps of the Crypt has its own channel. So I thanks for reminding me. I'll go and I'll link that instead. So I'll try to direct traffic to Creeps of the Crypt as opposed to the Ghost Crusaders. Because it used to be you'd go to Ghost Crusaders and then you have to find the Creeps of the Crypt playlist. Now it's all just in one channel. Right. So that's nice.
Yeah, make it convenient. So it'll definitely be all on there.
Okay, good. And of course, there's us. There's me and Godden here at the Cryptique podcast. If you'd like more of me, I can be found at 2 Bad About Kenny. That's TOO Bad About Kenny, as well as the number 2 Bad About Kenny. I can be found streaming video games. I can be found doing movie reviews and book reviews. Godden, how about you?
Well, they can find me hopefully streaming at Twitch, because I've been busy and I start school again, so I'll be more busy. So I probably won't be able to stream, even more. But at Twitch at UAPPO6, just like Kenny, you can find me gaming, or if you guys want to talk about Tales from the Crypt, that's also fine, or any other forms of media. I like talking about, media. And our Twitter at Cryptikers, where they can get any updates or any questions about Tales from the Crypt or one of us.
All right. And with that, if you want to keep up with what we're watching, then by next week, we'll be here at same time, same place, watching season 4, episode 12, Strung Along. So watch that. Come back here next week to hear us go on about it. And until next week, we here at the Cryptique podcast and Creeps of the Crypt podcast wish you all sweet nightmares.
Well, how was that for a scream, Poison Ghoul?